I think we are live now. Hello, everyone. This is Harshit here from Aussizz Migration. I'm from the Werribe branch, of the Aussizz group. So we have so many branches over here in Australia, all over Australia. So you can visit any of our branches regarding any of your queries for migration, education, or any other related queries. So today I'm going to answer your question Q&A session. So this is a weekly session we are doing, which is called an Ask Aussizz session. So we have been doing with many migration agents. So today I will be helping with your question and answers. Before starting the session, I would like to give you an information regarding our Aussizz Conclave 2023. So this is the third year we have been successfully doing this Aussizz Conclave session. So you will be meeting many migration agents in this session. It's a live session. You can enroll for that session. So you will find the links for the registration of this session in the comment section. So whichever social media platform you have been streaming this live, you can register from that session, from that link. So it's a online session, so you can register, you can see the session from your home, from your work, and from your car, or obviously not driving. So you can join the session from there, and you can get all the information regarding all the visas, 189, 190, 491, all the skill visas, employer sponsor visas, all the occupations will be covering. So whichever occupations are in demand and whichever occupations which are niche occupations like nursing, management occupations, will be covering all those occupations. So I'll request everyone to join the live session and register yourselves. So you can find the links in the comments. So now we'll start the live session. Yeah, so we'll wait for a couple of questions. So before starting, so as we are waiting for the questions, I'll let you know a few updates. So today, you might have seen updates online. Okay, that department has updated regarding the 485. So as people were waiting desperately, what will be the updates for the 485 extension? So as department has updated last time, and they have announce the legislation and regulation for that 485 visa. So people who are currently on 485 visa and who are falling in that list of occupations, they will get an extension of 2 years. So let's say if someone is studied bachelor's over here and currently on 485 visa, so they will get an extension of 2 years, which is 4 years in total. So if someone has studied master's over here, so instead of 3 years, they will now get 5 years of visa. So if you have studied PhD, then it will be 6 years in total. So everyone will get a 2 years of extension in this process. And the good part is that if you apply for this application, you don't have to pay any fees. So it's free. There are nil fees. And let's say someone's 485 visa is expiring before 1st of July. So all these updates are coming on 1st of July. So after 1st of July, everyone will get these things. And people who are applying, they will get an extension on this visa. So people who are applying before 1st of July, okay, let's say you cannot apply before 1st of July, but pardon me, people whose visa is expiring, 485 visa is expiring before 1st of July, they can apply for a COVID visa, and they will get an extension of 2 years for the COVID visa. So that is a good news for everyone, and people can extend their stay here and probably like manufacture their PR pathway and everything during that period if they have still not got the PR. But obviously the this financial year 2022 to 2023 was a really good year for the migration, and most of the competitive applicants have got that visa, and we are hoping that this will continue for the next financial year as well. So we have got a couple of questions, so we'll have a look. So Apurva Gupta is asking, any news for the accountant, sir? So Apurva, currently we have got many invitations for the accountant in this financial year. As you know, so for 189, we have got invitations at around 85 points for accountant general. And if you have got any other skill assessment, let's say external auditor, taxation accountant, obviously you must have studied those subjects during your study. And if you got the skill assessment, then people have got 189 invitation at 65 points as well, which was really good for the accountants, as we have seen from the past couple of years, it was not good. So yeah, it's good news. And also many state nominations are also available for accountants. We have seen in Victoria, if you're living in Victoria, that people are getting invitations for 190 and 491 both for Victoria state nomination at good points, at competitive points. So yes, accountant has got pretty good options. And let's say if you have got experience, then accountants can also apply for 482 visa with 2 years of experience and 186 visa with 3 years of experience. There are some caveats as well for the accountants. Let's say for employer sponsor visa, the requirement of the employer, the turnover should be at least 1 million. So if you are working, then you can apply for that. So there are so many pathways open for accountant in this financial year. And we are hopeful that in the next financial year for 189 visa, 190 state nomination visas, okay, it is also possible. Also, let's say I can give you one more example for Western Australia as well for accountant, that they are also giving invites at a pretty good points, which is around 80-85 points for 190 491, depending on where you are living, if you are living in Western Australia or not. So Western Australia is inviting for those applicants only who are living in Western Australia right now. If you are living interstate, then you probably not won't get an invite for Western Australia. Moving to the next question, Nabil Sabir is asking, 491 to sponsor relative, is there any route for British national? I think, Nabil, you are asking that you have a sponsor over here who is sponsoring you for 491 family sponsor visa. So it is the same for everyone if you have a British national passport or any other passport. So depending on your occupations, there were many invites right now in the last financial year for 189 and 190. So if you have got around 80 points to 100 points in between that, okay, then there are chances that you will get it. But your question is not a bit, it's a bit incomplete. So if you can give me your occupation, then we can have a look in detail that how you are eligible for that 491 family sponsored visa or not. Okay, and your occupation must be in medium to long term skill list to apply for that visa. Otherwise, you can go for 491 state sponsorship as well. So I hope I answered your question. Another question. I think it's from the same person. Thus, my past visitor visa rejection will impact my sponsorship work visa offshore. So I'm not sure what kind of sponsorship work visa you're talking about. Can you please ask a question in detail so I can answer that? Moving to the next question, Abdullah Sakib is asking, I heard people with the highest income might get straight PR. Is it true? Yes, it is possible in Victoria. So Victoria do have a requirement. So if you're applying for state nomination in Victoria for 190 and 491, so for 190 is not 491. So they are definitely looking at the high income criteria. So if someone is earning between 80,000 to 100,000 or more than that, okay, then they might get a higher probability to get a 190 invitation as compared to a lower income rate. It also depends on a few other factors as well. So let's say if someone has got a skilled partner, then they also get a higher chance as compared to someone who is a single and claiming 10 points. Then if you are working in your nominated occupation and claiming the highest income points, then you might get an upper hand in the application and you can get an invite as soon as possible. So Abdullah, I think I've answered a question. If you are in Victoria and if you're asking the question in terms of the highest income in Victoria, then it is possible. In other states, it is not the requirement. There is no requirement for higher income, and even for 189, there is no highest income requirements. So I hope I have answered your question. We have Apurva Gupta. Yeah, so I think Apurva Gupta, yes, sir, I have got external auditor. I live in Victoria, 80 points for 190, no experience in accounting. Yes, Apurva, so that's good that you have got external auditor skill assessment. So probably we might get an invitation in the next financial year as what we have seen in this financial year. So you might get 189, and for 190, I suggest that if you in Victoria, if you have higher income in any occupation, it's not required to be working in a nominated occupation as per the last requirement. Considering the requirements remain the same for the next financial year, then you might be eligible for 190, but try to get more points. Try to get 85, 90 points. So I hope these 80 points are including the 195 points as well. So if you get more points, then there are higher chances to get an invitations, because I have seen many applicants for 190 last invitation round for accountant who got it around 95 points. So it's better to score more points and try to find an employment in your field if possible. And if you are not working in your field, try to get an higher income. Okay, moving to the next question. Jalak Patel, any invitation on for this financial year 491? Jalak, currently, this is, I think, the last couple of weeks of this financial year. So we are not expecting any invitation rounds right now. If we may get an invitation round, hopeful, we might get for Western Australia, but they haven't given any updates on that. So we have like asked them, but they haven't given any updates on the invitation round. So we are most probably like expecting the invitation round in the next financial years only. Victoria has already been closed, okay, and I cannot see any invitation rounds right now. So if you are in Victoria, you can probably expect next year. In if you're in other state like Western Australia, and then maybe we can expect something in next week, but can't say anything, can't exactly comment on that question that we will receive an invitation or not in the next year. So most of the state will remain almost the same for the next financial year. Okay, so we are expecting that. So in the next financial year, you might get an invite for 489, whichever state you will be living, depending that you meet the requirements of the state. Yes, we have got another question. Werenga has asked, kitchen manager 60 points own expect state nomination is enough for 119 essay through graduate stream. I have more than 1.5 year full-time experience in Greater Adelaide. How my possibility for 190 491? Yes, so I hope you got a skill assessment as well. So if you are a graduate in South Australia, then there are high chances of 190. We have to look at the requirements of 190 as well, that what is the requirement next financial, because currently in this financial they have closed. So if the requirement is for 1 year, 1.5 year, whatever the requirements you have been meeting, and it's in Adelaide, not in outer regional South Australia, then yes, a possibility is there that you will get 190, because whenever South Australia opens in the next financial year, they probably have seats for the whole year. So they will give 190 at that time. And by the time it ends, it goes on to the financial year. By the end of the year, they probably stop giving 190 and focus on 491 more. So yes, if you are eligible, then you can expect Werribe for 190, and we can also assess your profile in detail. So I suggest to contact us if you have any queries. We have office in South Australia as well. So anywhere you want to like have a chat, okay, just let us know. Moving to the next question, we have got something from Maninder Chauhan. Changes for motor mechanic with 70 points 189 and 75 points 190. Okay, so Maninder, as you know that we have received many invitations for motor mechanic last year for 189. Even some of our applicants got for 65 points as well, onshore, offshore. So yes, 70 points are a good points, but if you can also increase some points, so it will be good for 189. So you can get an invitation early, but 70 points are still good. For 190, it depends, or 75 depends on which state you are in. So Victoria generally, as we have seen the trend for the last financial year, that they have not given any invitations yet for trade courses like motor mechanic chef. So it was very cold for trade occupations. So 190, if you're in Victoria, you probably won't uh, get an invitation in that in motor mechanic. But if you are in other state, please let us know, so we can tell you what are the requirements and everything in the next financial year when it opens. But try to gain more points, okay, if possible for you, as I don't know what points you have got if you're married or not. But try to get 7 each, 8 each if you can. Try to go for NATI for 5 points if you have got 1 year of experience, and if you are closing on to 3 years, you can get 5 more points for that. So try and do that. So you might be eligible for 189 as per the last financial what we have got in 2022 to 23. That's 65 points where the cutoff for the motor mechanic. So probably good chances. Okay, Maninder. Um, Moving to the next question, Jasprit Kaur is asking, network and system engineer with 80 points, working in IT support specialist, chances for Victoria 190. Jasprit, yes. So if you're working in IT support specialist, okay, depending that the requirement will remain the same for the next financial year as well. Okay, so 80 points are also a good points, plus 5 points. I'll suggest that from Victoria 190. I hope that you have written 80 points for yourself, not including the state points. So if it's including the state points, I'll suggest to get more points. Okay, try to get 8 each if you are not done. Okay, if you are working in IT support specialist, okay, if you have higher income, then you might get an upper hand on the application and you might be invited earlier. So we have got many invitations in Victoria around 85 to 90 points. So if you have a skilled partner, if you have got 80 to 100,000 of income, then you can get a skill assessment. Sorry, if you can get an invitation in Victoria 190. So yeah, try to get more points if possible. Okay, and wait for the new requirements of Victoria 190, whatever are the new requirements, and keep working in the occupation you're working in. Okay, it can definitely help. And I suggest that you have written IT support specialist. So I suggest that it's the position you are working at. But if you're doing the duties as a network and system engineer, then you can claim points as well. So to claim points, you require at least 20 hours per week experience. Then you can claim the points, and it will also help your application for Victoria, because if you have claim points in Victoria, then they can also give priority to the applicants who have already been working in their nominated occupation and got 5 points. So it will definitely help you. Okay, and if you're not sure about that it is related to your occupation or not, always contact the migration agent from Aussizz Werribe, and we Yeah, I think we are live again, and I think people can hear me. Okay, so where were we? Yeah, so we are discussing about 191 visa grant. Okay, so 191 visa grant may take around 6 to 8 months. So as I already told that for 191 visa grant, it might not take like as long as what 887 visa was taking. And as we know that from like from couple of days, we have got a like requirement from the like an update from the Department of Home Affairs that they have already updated on their website that there is no minimum income requirement for 191 visa. So that is a good thing. Okay, so they have one less thing to assess, and they might start giving visa grants as soon as possible. So we are expecting a time frame of 6 to 8 months. Okay, but you never know. Keep an eye on the Home Office website. Maybe after July they will update it, and as soon as they update it, we'll also post on our social media. So keep an eye on that, and probably you will know the processing time of 191 visa soon. So moving to another questions, Jitu Angnani. Why offshore candidates are getting more priority regarding the invitations, whether it is 190 or 491 or 482. Above all, 189 is not yet active. At present, Australia PR is not smooth, it seems like. Jitu, it's not actually like that. So immigration is looking for the applicants who have got more skills. So for the offshore applicants, they are giving invitations to those applicants who have got skills. For 189, it's all points based, but if you are looking at 491 and 190, then they are looking for the skilled application who have got 3 to 5 years of experience. Some states are also looking for, like South Australia, they're looking for experience of 8 years. So they are giving a priority to them who have got skills over there, so with experience in the nominated occupation. And even for 482 visas, you require like 2 years of experience. For 186 visa, you require 3 years of experience. So to fill the temporary skill shortage over here, they are giving a priority to the applicants offshore. But it's not like that they are giving more invitations to offshores. As we can see from past 4 to 6 months, they have given less invitations to offshore applicants and more invitations to the onshore applicants, as in terms of 189 visa and 190 and 491 state nomination visas. So yes, they are giving invitations to offshore, so they require skilled people over here. But it's not like that they are not giving invitations to onshore applicants. We have got many applicants onshore who have got invitations. And for 189, it's not like that if you are offshore, then you'll get the invitations quicker. But if you have got enough points, you can expect an invitation in the next financial year. So for 189 or 190, or if you have got experience, you can go for employer sponsor visa as well. So I hope I answered your question, Jitu. So we have got another questions from Jitendra. Yes, so can I have chances of an invitation with 65 points in Victoria, 190 or 491? Or which state is better for computer network and system engineer invitations? So Jitendra, for Victoria, 65 points are quite less, I suggest, for computer network and system engineer, because we have received many invitations at around 80-85 points, I can say. And there are different factors, as I already told before, for Victoria state nomination, that if you have a skilled partner, if you have higher income, then you might get an invitation along with higher points as well. So higher points is one of the criteria you need to meet for 190. Then you will get the invitations. And 65 points are quite less, but you can also try for 491, because as per the last update from Victoria, if they are going to continue that update for 491, that if you are living anywhere in Victoria, you are able to apply for 491, then you can try and go for 491, as 491 criteria has also gotten easy, and you can apply for 191 after 3 years. So 491 is a good option. And if you want to go for any other state, then if you move to Western Australia, then there are high chances that you can get an invitation for 119 491. But again, for 190 in Western Australia, you will require a job offer letter in your nominated occupation, plus you will require around 85 points as well, same as Victoria. So if you are getting higher points, then 190 is a good option. And if your points are not up to the mark, then I'll suggest go for 491. Okay, so 491 is also a better option, and it can lead you to 191 after you spend 3 years in any regional area and work in that regional area. Okay. Next question is for Amila. What are the chances for enrollers with 65 points to get 190 in Victoria next financial year? I'm currently in Adelaide and willing to move to Victoria for 190. So yeah, Amila, this is a good question. So if you have a skill assessment as an enrollers and 65 points, so we have received many invitations last time where they were given a priority in Victoria. And before the last invitation now, that they will give invitations to register nurses, enroll nurses in any health occupations. And if this thing like comes and continues in the next financial year, then you can expect invitation at 65 points. So if you're planning to move over here in Victoria, then I'll suggest Victoria is a good state, because Victoria has like good number of seats as compared to South Australia. For 190, they have got higher number of seats as compared to 491, because 491 seats are very less. So they are probably like interested to give 190, and health occupations, they have always been a priority for Victoria State nomination for either it is enrolled nurses or registered nurses, medical practitioners, medical laboratory scientists. They have given invitations even for teachers as well. So yes, you can probably move to Victoria if you're planning to, and get an invitation in the next financial year. Okay, and wait until like 1st of July, what the requirements are, and then work accordingly. If you require any help, you can contact our offices. Moving on to the next question. Okay, so it's from Jitu. I think again. Okay, so I'm repeating the questions. So yeah, another question from Abdullah Ahad Ullah Khan. Hi sir, guide me for safety inspector. I'm married and age is 33, having 10 years experience in Dubai and 3 years in Pakistan. Please guide me how to start. I have an experience letter of Park expert, but no bank statement. Okay, for safety inspector, if you have got experience, okay, so most of the skill assessment authorities require like bank statement and pay slips and everything, so you can claim your experience. But for this safety inspector, we have to look into it, and we can probably guide. So I'll suggest you to forward your resume to us, so we can have a look at it, and we can see your profile, as you have got good experience, so around 10 years of experience, which is good. And most of the states currently are open. So let's say you can, for offshore, it's NT, Queensland, Victoria was also open last financial year, Western Australia is open. So those states have a requirement of around 3 years, 5 years, 8 years. So if you meet that requirement, then definitely you will be eligible for offshores migration, and you might get a 491. So most of the states focus on 491 migration only. 190 is quite hard to get, and in exceptional circumstances you can get it, but 491 you can get, and you can contact us for that. Thank you. Said Osman Maqsood. Can NATI exam be written by offshore applicants? So currently, Said, I can say that NATI exams are online, so people from offshore can also perform NATI. So yes, you can also try and crack NATI to gain more points. If you are offshore, you can try and do that. Jitender is asking question again. Which state is based for computer network and system engineer for 189, 190, or 491 with minimum 65 points? So I think I already answered a question, Jitender, that Western Australia, you most probably be eligible for 491 for Victoria and Western Australia. But if you want to move to other state as well, let's say South Australia, in most of the state you might need to work over there in your nominated occupation or in any occupation. Let's say if I go for an example, South Australia, that if you got a skill assessment as a CNSE, computer network system engineer, if you live in outer region South Australia and work in outer region South Australia, then you might get a 491, but 190 will always be difficult if you are moving to other states and even for Victoria as well. Moving on to another question. So Harsh Buttar, civil engineer with 80 points for 491 in Western Australia, not WA graduate. Okay. So for civil engineer, 80 points are good as well. So if you are living in Western Australia, Harsh, then there are higher chances. So I think recently we received there was an invitation round. So let me check the exact points for you. I think somewhere around 85 points. Yeah, so it's 80 points. Recently we received around, which if you are a resident over there, then most probably there are chances that you might get an invitation in civil engineering for Western Australia for 491. So there are high chances. 491, 80 points are a good points, but you need to be in Western Australia because they have a priority. So if you are living in Western Australia, then you will get a priority. Then if you are living in another state, then you will get the second priority. But as we have seen from past couple of months, that people are not getting invites for Western Australia from different states. Let's say if you are living in Victoria, you might not get an invite. So I suggest that if you can move to Western Australia and apply for 491, that will be a good option. And you also don't require an offer letter for Western Australia. So offer letter requirement has already been scrapped by Western Australia in this financial year. Okay, so maybe in January they given an update regarding that. So 491, 80 points, civil engineer, good points. Harsh, yeah, so I already answered the question. Parth Chaudhary is asking, can you please tell me about chef in Queensland? I'm on TR, means 485, had done skill assessment. Can you please tell me about the further step to put the permanent residence? Okay, so Parth, actually Queensland work on two things. So if you are a Queensland graduate, then you might get a chance as well. And then if you are moved from some other state to Queensland and working in Queensland as a chef, so first you need to get the skill assessment done. I think you have done. Okay, yeah, so I think you have already done your skill assessment part. So if you have already done your skill assessment and if you have got like around 65 points, then you will be eligible for 491. And if you have got more than 85 points, you might be eligible for 190 as well, depending on your work experience. So if you have got 3 to 6 years of work experience, you can be eligible for 491 or 190. So Queensland is also conducting this priority invitation as well. So in priority invitation, what you need to do, that you need to register yourself during that window, and if they consider your skills and if they consider your experience points and everything, they might give you a pre-invite and you need to submit the documents as well. So currently it was last week. I think they in this month they already invited, and they might start again in July. So yes, there are good chances path for you in Queensland as a chef. So you can definitely apply for 190 and 491. Moving to the next question. Achi is asking, hi, for 408 COVID visa, should job offer be a full-time, permanent, casual, or part-time job isn't eligible for 408 visa? Okay, so actually there is currently you require an employment contract and you must be working in your nominated occupation. So it can be either full-time, casual, or part-time. So currently I think 408 visa, they might scrap in the next financial year. There is no updates yet, but it feels like they might do it. So if you are applying for the 408 visa, I suggest you to apply before 1st of July, considering that you are eligible for that. So you have to apply within 90 days of your visa expiry. So if you are working currently as a casual, part-time, full-time, okay, I'll suggest you to use that employment and apply for the 408 COVID visa, because they have relaxed the requirements for that. And even after your visa is granted, you can change your employer if you want to, and you don't have to inform them as well. So they have recently updated that you don't require to inform immigration if you want to change your employer, as long as you're working in any field. I hope that answers your question, Achi. So Akshara Vijayan, I'm working as an accountant. Any chance to get Australian PR? So Akshara, I hope that your question is that you are working as an accountant in Australia. So yes, definitely. As I discussed previously, that if you are an accountant, then we have received many invitations in this financial year at around 85 points for 189, which is a good thing. So if you can get those points, let's say including your age points, you get 8 each in PT, 20 points for that. If you have done PY in Australia, then 5 points for that. If you are single or married, you can score that points accordingly. For single, you'll get 10 points. If you have got a skilled partner, you'll get 10 points. So according to that, you can get more points. You can also include NATI as well, and then you can apply for 189. And if you're working as an accountant, you can also apply for an employer sponsor visa, which requires 2 to 3 years of experience. So depending on your experience, you can apply for that visa. And you can also go for state nomination visa. So currently state nomination visa, if you are in Victoria has also invited accountants at very good points, at around 85-90 points, okay, in this financial year. So if you're working as an accountant, you can probably apply for that as well, state nomination. Moving to next question, Omi is asking, I have a nomination for 491 in SA. Should I have to try for 119 WA? Omi, I suggest that if you have received the 491 invitation in South Australia, then I guess you are living in South Australia. So if you apply for 119 Western Australia, probably you have got less chance right now, because as I told that Western Australia is not inviting applicants who are living interstates in any other states. So if you are applying from South Australia to Western Australia for 190, then there will be less chances for you. If you are eligible for South Australia only in the next financial year for 190, you can probably apply for South Australia in next financial year for 190, or else you have to move to Western Australia to apply for 190, considering your occupation and what are the points criteria for that. So I hope I answer question, Omi. Yeah, moving on to the next question, guys. So Hershey is asking, 90 points accountant onshore, can I get one and invitation? Not working currently. Okay. Hershey, so yes, you can get 189 invitation. So we have got many invitations for accountant last financial year. Okay, and 90 points are good points for an accountant. And if you have also studied let's say external auditor or taxation subjects, I'll suggest you to get the skill assessment in external auditor and taxation accountant as well, so you can explore for different options as well, because external auditor might get an invitation at lesser points as compared to like accountant general. So for 189, they can get invitation at 65 points, which was the last cutoff for external auditor. And what you can do, you can as you are currently not working in as an accountant, but if you are working any other occupation, you can probably go for 190 as well, depending on the points of what you have got. So yes, there are very good chances for you, but let's say currently skill assessment is taking more time if you are going for any other occupations. So is it via CPA or CA or IPA? So they are currently taking around 2 months to get the skill assessment. So if you want to apply, Okay, I suggest you apply in this period. So maybe whenever the invitation, 189 invitation is there in around, we can expect in August 2023. So you probably get the skill assessment during that time and you are eligible to apply for 189. So apply for the skill assessment, okay, and get the 189 invitation at 90 points. So yeah, and we might get an update soon for all the state nominations. Let's say for Victoria is currently closed and they are not probably giving invitations, but for New South Wales, there are many like they have got few seats available, but they have not closed yet. So they have got for 491 and 190, they have got for 491 they have got pathway 1 and pathway 2. For 190 the requirement is that you should be living in New South Wales for 6 months and you got higher points in your nominated occupation, then you'll probably get an invitation for 190. So NSW are still open right now. Tasmania has also said that they are not going to close in this financial year. Northern Territory has got some seats left. So speaking of Northern Territory, recently they have updated for offshore applicants. So if we have got any applicants who are like watching us live right now from offshore, so they have reduced the requirement from 3 years to 1 year. So if you have got even 1 year of experience, if you have got skill assessment, you can still apply for 491 from Northern Territory. 190 is quite difficult, but you can definitely apply for 491. And you have to apply for EOI and state nomination for Northern Territory and provide that you are meeting that points requirement of 65 points, which is the minimum requirement. If you have got higher points, got higher chances to get an invitation. If you have got 1 year of experience or 3 years of experience, you need to show the documentations that you are meeting those points requirement or experience requirement. Let's say you need to provide bank statement, pay slips, tax documents from overseas. So if you provide the documents and make the EOI and state nomination application, probably Northern Territory was also inviting. And South Australia is closed, Victoria is closed, Western Australia is still open. As I said, maybe we can expect an invitation around, but we cannot comment that it will be there or not. So it's a 50-50% chances. So we have got one more question from Vinny Chauhan. Hello, sir. Now they removed the 5300 income requirement for 191 visa. Those who are on 491 visa, do you think in future they put back the requirement again because the people stop making 5300 annually after this news? Thanks. So Vinny, as per your question, you are asking that they might introduce this 53,900 requirement in the future or not for the 191 visa. So I don't think so they are going to do that thing, because if someone is already on 491 visa, it will be difficult for them to suddenly meet the requirement of 53,900. So I don't think they are going to put this requirement again in the future, because already someone has got 491 visa, and if they are holding that visa for 3 years and in the third year they introduce this requirement, and it will be difficult for them to meet this requirement. So practically it is not possible. So as per the current requirements, you just need to meet the notice of assessment criteria. So if you provide 3 notice of assessment, you are eligible. So I think the requirement is going to remain the same only, because as they have increased, as we have moved from 489 to 491, so it was the requirement for 87 was 2 years, and it has increased to 3 years for 491. And if you want to be eligible for 191, you require 3 years to stay in regional area and to work for 3 years in a regional area in any occupation. So I think this is quite already a requirement, which is 3 years. So I don't think so they are going to introduce this requirement in the future. So recently they have updated this thing, and the requirement will still be the same only. Any other questions? So I got many questions regarding like 485 visa. So I'll go through that. So let's say there are updates regarding TRA as well, and the 485 that they are going to introduce PSA 360 hours right now. So currently there is no update from the TRA that they are going to introduce that 360 hours for the provisional skill assessment, which is going to be like eligibility criteria for the 485 visa in graduate work stream. So recently during this COVID pandemic period, they have like scrapped this requirement of 360 hours and a PSS provisional skill assessment requirement for the 485 graduate work stream visa. But department are reintroducing that visa from first, reintroducing that requirement for the provisional skill assessment for the temporary graduate work stream visa, 485 visa. So people are still skeptical that 360 hours are going to come or not. But as we got an update from TRA, they have never mentioned anywhere that the 360 hours are going to come. They are replacing the job ready eligibility criteria with the provisional skill assessment criteria. So if they are going to introduce that thing, they will definitely update us. But currently it's hard to tell that they are going to like reintroduce that 360 hours requirement. So people who are eligible right now before 1st of July as well, okay, I suggest them to apply as soon as possible. Okay, so even if they introduce, and they have nothing to lose. But I don't think so they are going to introduce this requirement. Okay, so I think we are done with the questions, and I think we can wrap up. If you have any questions, let's say even if you miss this live stream, if you have got questions even after watching this recording, you can always comment your questions on any social media platform. Maybe it's Facebook, Twitter, so YouTube, anywhere. You can like comment your questions, and we'll be happy to answer that questions. And yeah, I think that's it for the day. And don't forget to like register for the Aussizz conclave, which is like 2 days away only. Okay, so which is starting from Monday and ending on Friday. So 5 days of full jam-packed sessions for you. Okay, and yeah, see you then.